Hello, welcome back to Learn Economia. In this video, we will be understanding the consumer behavior in terms of ordinal utility approach. I hope you have gone through my previous video which deals with the consumer behavior in terms of cardinal utility approach. Here in this video, we will be understanding the other hand, on the other hand, at the other side of the coin, that consumer behavior in terms of ordinal utility approach. First of all, you have to understand the difference between the cardinal utility approach and ordinal utility approach. Cardinal utility theory actually understands consumer behavior by understanding consumer behavior could be analyzed by using the want satisfying power of a commodity, and they say that the want satisfying power of a commodity or the utility could be expressed in terms of numerics, or it could be expressed in terms of numbers, or it can be expressed numerically or in quantitative terms. And they say that utils can be used as the power, or it can be used as a unit of measurement of utility in cardinal utility approach. So unlike in the case of cardinal utility approach, ordinal utility approach tells that utility cannot be expressed in terms of numbers. On the other hand, utility can be ranked. So this is the main difference between the cardinal utility approach and ordinal utility approach. Having said so, let's understand the concept of ordinal utility approach in detail. So here we use two different methods or two different tools to understand the ordinal utility approach. These are known as the indifference curve and the Becher line. Okay, so having said so, it's important to understand what indifference curve is and what Becher line is. Indifference curve is a very important tool that is used in the study of consumer behavior when we come to ordinal utility approach. The concept itself is put forward, or it is introduced into the economic analysis by Francis Edgeworth, and it has been used by Wilfredo Pareto as well. So the indifference curve approach is considered to be, or indifference curve tool is the locus of all the combinations of two goods which would yield the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. So any combination of the goods on indifference curve gives equal level of satisfaction. So the consumer would be indifferent to any of the combinations given in the Becher line or any of the combination he consumes. Indifference curve, since it gives equal satisfaction, since each point on the indifference curve gives equal satisfaction to the consumer, this curve is also known as the equal satisfaction curve or isoutility curve. Okay, if you look at the indifference curve schedule, here we take only two goods, that is two goods and different combination. There would be different combination of two goods, that is one combination, or combination A will give you 1 mango and 14 oranges, combination B means 2 mangoes and 9 oranges, and it goes on. One important thing you have to understand in this particular context is that when you increase the consumption of one commodity, you have to reduce the consumption of other commodity, because your income is limited. So you have to make your consumption bundle in such a way that it goes hand in hand with your income levels. Okay, here you could see that from 1 to 2, when you go from the consumption of 1 unit of mangoes to 2 unit of mangoes, here you have to reduce the consumption of oranges from 14 to 9. So as we increase the consumption of mangoes from 1 to 5, you could see that you have reduced the consumption of oranges from 14 to 2.5. So that is very important when you construct an indifference schedule and also indifference map our indifference curve. Okay, from the indifference schedule or indifference table, we have constructed the indifference curve, and the curve appears to be so. Here we measured commodity X or mangoes on the x-axis and commodity Y or oranges on the y-axis. So by marking the different combinations of oranges and mangoes, we will be getting the point A, B, C, D, E. So by joining the points A, B, C, D, E, what you get is known as the indifference curve. So as I have already told you, many of the economic theories, most of the economics theories or all of the economic theories have got certain assumptions. So these theories are set in the background of these assumptions, and it is assumed that these conditions are satisfied. Okay, First of all, when we come to the assumptions of indifference curve, first of all, you have to understand that we are concerned with just two commodities. We are just looking at two commodities only in the case of indifference curve. One commodity is marked on the x-axis, whereas the other one is measured over the y-axis. Okay. Now, known satiety. Since we are just concerned about two commodities only, we are not actually reached a particular point that will give you the maximum satisfaction. Okay, all the points are indifferent on the indifferent curve. If you are asked whether you prefer to point A or point B, you won't be able to you will be able to rank the order, but that doesn't mean that you are completely satisfied. So the indifference curve approach assume the assumption of known satiety. Then ordinary utility. As I have already mentioned, indifference curve approach does not consider the concept that utility or the satisfaction could be measured in terms of utility. They say that utility can be ranked only, but it cannot be expressed in terms of numbers. Then diminishing marginal rate of substitution, as we have already seen in the table, if you have to increase the consumption of one commodity, you have to reduce the consumption of other commodity. This is known as a diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Then rational consumers. Economic theories are always assume that all the economic theories assume that consumers or the economic agents are rational. Here we are just concerned about consumers alone. So in this theory, we can assume that consumers are rational. Rational in the sense that we think that all the consumers, they would apply their common sense and they make their decision in such a manner that they will be able to maximize their satisfaction levels. Now, properties of indifference curve. Indifference curve has got several properties. First of all, you have to note that indifference curve slopes downward from left to right. So this is why is it so? When a consumer wants to have more of a commodity, he will have to give up some of the other units of the other commodity, given that the consumer remains on the same utility level. So he will be on the same indifference curve, but in order to be on the same indifference curve, for increasing the consumption of one unit of one commodity, the consumer has to give up some units of the other commodity. Okay, that is why indifference curve slopes downwards to the right. Then indifference curve is convex to the origin. This is because of the diminishing marginal rate of substitution, the same thing, and indifference curve cannot intersect each other. Each indifference curve is a representation of a particular level of satisfaction. As a result, you cannot see indifference curve intersecting each other. Higher indifference curve shows higher level of satisfaction. This is so because if you are on a higher indifference curve, that means that your income has been increased. That means that you can consume higher quantities of or more quantities of both the commodities, both commodity X and commodity Y. As a result, you will be on a higher indifference curve and your satisfaction level is also increased. So that's all for indifference curve. I'll be dealing with budget line in the next video. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe for more videos.